There is no doubt that Section 702 is a valuable tool for collecting foreign intelligence. But as I have said for years, Section 702 also raises serious constitutional concerns. Only foreigners abroad may be targeted under Section 02. Let me repeat that. Only foreigners abroad may be targeted under Section 702. But in the course of gathering intelligence on foreigners, our government also collects the private communications of Americans who communicate with these individuals abroad. How many American communications are collected under Section 702? The government cannot and will not say. What we know is that hundreds of thousands of foreigners are targeted each year, and likely billions of communications are collected and stored on government databases. The government can then search these databases for Americans' email, phone calls, and text messages, all without a warrant. Just as a reminder, the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution says, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supporting by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized." It was my view when this program was first established, first authorized by Congress in 2008, and it's my view now that Section 702 does not sufficiently protect the privacy and civil liberties of Americans. That's why I joined with Senator Lee in a bipartisan 2012 effort to offer an amendment to require a warrant for any backdoor search of American communications. The government can then search these databases for emails, phone calls, as I mentioned earlier, in what is known as a backdoor search. The FBI alone conducted more than 200,000 warrantless searches of Americans in 2022. Since Senator Lee and I offered our amendment in 2012, the problems with Section 702 have continued. The court charged with overseeing this program has found, quote, persistent and widespread, close quote, violations of the rules governing Section 702. In just the latest example, it was recently revealed that the FBI has used Section 702 to conduct backdoor searches on the communications of Americans who were arrested in the racial justice protests following the murder of George Floyd, as well as individuals who participated in the January 6th insurrection.
Wow, 278,000 times American citizens' information was queried by your agency unintentionally? That's your testimony?
I would want to go back and check that, Senator.
But well, that's what you just told me.
My understanding is that the vast majority of
wait, that's different. You just said it was. You just said it was unintentional. Now it's the vast majority. Which is it? Do you know?
I would want to go back and check it.
So you don't know?
My understanding is that likely all were unintentional.
Likely all. So first it was all of them, then it was vast majority. Now it's likely all. So you don't know is the answer to the question.
I don't know the answer as we sit here today, but I will find out and I will get back to you.
Who was fired for the lies to the FISA court for the Carter Page warrant? Who was fired for that? Anybody? Has anybody been held accountable for your institution deliberately lying to a FISA court to get a wiretap on an ongoing presidential campaign?
There is an ongoing disciplinary process with respect to individuals involved in that.
Here's the deal. You're back in front of us asking for the reauthorization of extraordinary authorities. Multiple courts have uncovered extraordinary abuses perpetrated by your agency. You are at the same time concealing information about serious allegations made against the President of the United States, even as your institution also targets his chief political opponent in an unprecedented way. Why would we ever give you the blank check that you want to continue surveilling American citizens in an improper manner? Why would we ever do that?
Senator, we're here to talk about reforms today. I did get confirmation that the query...
No, we're not. We're here to talk about the reauthorization of Section 702. Why would we reauthorize it, given your track record of abuse and illegal improper surveillance and political targeting? Why would we do that? Why would it be appropriate for this body to do that?
Well, I've been better. I'm a little bit out of breath. I just ran from that vote that just threw away the Fourth Amendment to our Constitution. They passed the extension of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act.
Oh, my God.
Of course, it's been used to spy on Americans, so it's misnamed. But
Was it even close?
it was close in a way. We only needed 1/3 of the House to vote against it to stop it. We're not going to mash this thing together with the funding for our military and put it on the floor. So instead of bringing the bill through the Rules Committee, as most bills go, they brought it on the floor without going through the Rules Committee by suspending the rules. They can do that, but then they have to get a 2/3 majority vote. So we needed 140 votes, roughly, out of the people who were present to stop it.
Yeah,
We got 118.
118. I would assume most of them Republicans, but I hear there were some Democrats that were against this as well.
Yeah, we had 73 Republicans vote against this and 45 Democrats vote against. Well, Glenn, they put you in a skiff here, one of these secret rooms without your phone, and they try to convince you the world's going to end if you don't allow them to reauthorize this. But that's a false choice. We passed a reform to this that would require the government to get a warrant out of Jim Jordan's Judiciary Committee. And the Speaker, instead of bringing it to the floor as a standalone bill, brought this horrible thing that, as you said in your intro, we already know they've admitted they've used it illegally on 250,000 times on Americans. They brought this same program back to the floor, and they say it's a 4-month reauthorization. But as Mike Lee, who's read the bill, points out, it may be more than a year reauthorization because they'll just reset the clock in January.